What's up, everybody? It's the One Man Drywall Army coming back at you today. And today I am going to show you guys how to do a Spanish style hand trowel, skip trowel finish. So before I even get into it, just going to mention a couple of things that I feel is important. That way you can get that Spanish style skip trowel finish that you desire. The first thing I want to mention is that you're going to have to get your mud consistency right. On this type of skip trowel, I like to run it a little bit thicker. By running it a little thicker, it's going to look thicker, but you're also going to get a lot of that ridgy detailed look that you get with the Spanish skip trowel finish. You want to have your skipping patterns to be pretty consistent. So what I mean by that, for instance, that if you are going in one direction, if you're just skipping this way and you're skipping this way, then do that for the entire job. If you're going to be fanning on your skip trowel, like I plan on doing in this demonstration, then that's what you want to do for the entire job. Another thing I think it's important to mention is that you want to have your angle of your blade in the right angle. You want to be pretty flat to the wall while skipping. You're going to get your best skips and you're going to get your best details by running it low. You don't want to put a lot of pressure on the knife because that's going to allow you to flatten out. Now let me back up a little bit. It's okay if you put pressure on the knife because you're going to get a way different knife pattern, and that's okay. But if that's what you decide to do, you need to do that for the entire job. We got that out of the way. You guys understand that regardless of whatever patterns you use, just do it throughout the whole job. That way it all looks the same. One of the ways that I like to deal with having two guys on a job that's doing the hand trowel is I'll have one guy work the ceiling and then I'll work the walls, or I'll work the ceilings and they work the walls. Another thing I like to mention too is that you want to have the same amount of mud on your knife every time you load up, for the most part. Like for me, I think this is a perfect amount to do skip trowel, especially for this type. The type of mud I'm using to do this texture is just a lightweight mud made by Westpac. This stuff is fresh out of the box, but it's been loosened up just a little bit by massaging it with the knife. Alright, so it's super thick. Super thick. This is pretty much as thick as it gets. But some people want it. This type of texture goes on really fast. Takes up a lot of mud, but The key is to just get it on the wall first. You are eventually going to come back and knock it down, but I'm trying to avoid not knocking this board off of this stand. It's not the most stable surface there is. Okay. Yeah, it's definitely, the stand is not as stable as I like to work with. Otherwise I'd be flying right through this demo. But as you can see, it's definitely on there really thick and very ridgy. The mud is, like I said, straight out of the box. I'm going to go ahead and let it set up for about, I'm going to say about 10 minutes before I come back and put it down. And once you do that, it looks really good. So it's just one style of doing it. I've learned that it's good to learn all the different styles of hand trowel, skip trowel finish, because you know that varies. People have different taste, and you want to be able to accommodate to their taste. So I will come back in about 10 minutes and I'll let you guys see what it looks like when I knock it down, and then I'll get a good close-up on it. That way you can see the finished product. Alright, so you can see that it's on really thick, and it's definitely super ridgy. I've been on jobs where I've seen this type of finish, and in the right situation this in itself would look good. I wouldn't want this type of texture in my house. So what I'm going to do for demonstration purposes is not only show you this the way it is right now, but what it looks like after I knock it down after, you know, 10 minutes of sitting. This type of texture, because it goes on a lot thicker, you are going to have to put more pressure on your knife to get it to sit on the wall. Now on a mud that's looser, then it requires a lot less pressure in regards to putting the mud, knifing the mud on the wall. So with that, I am going to go ahead and set the camera back up and demonstrate for you guys how to flatten this out. What's too much, what's not enough, so forth. Okay, so you guys seen what it looks like up close. In my opinion, I think it looks really cool as far as the details and the skippage. I'm gonna go ahead and knock it down. When you go ahead and flatten it out, you want to keep the angle of your knife at the same angle. And by doing that, you're not going to be digging out your texture. So yeah, this stuff is really thick, but so you're going to have to apply more pressure to your knife to get it to flatten out nicely. But I tell you, once you do it, once you do that first one, you start to see just how really nice this type of texture looks. The flatter you want it, the more you're going to have to put pressure on it especially with the mud being this thick. Well, some people would say that this type of hand trowel does not look good. They wouldn't want it in their own home. Understandably so, but the truth of the matter is that some people actually like it. So, in some of the older Spanish homes, it tends to be a little popular. But it's very thick, and so it smoothens out really nice. But there's a lot of ridges and a lot of detail. Okay. Okay, so there's no cheddar marks. There you go. So that's it right there. I'm going to give you guys an up close on it and show you just how beautiful this finish looks. Let me also mention another thing, that just because it's a thicker and a heavier version of this hand trowel, it doesn't mean that you do not need to sand it. I would give it a very, very light brush down, and that's it. But for the most part, this looks really good. It looks super good. So there you have it. That's how you do a Spanish style skip trowel finish. And basically it's so easy, just about anybody can do it. Okay, so there you have it. That's how you do it. A Spanish style skip trowel finish. Pretty simple. Basically did it with very little effort. And just keep in mind, because the mud is thicker, you're going to have to put more pressure on your knife to get it on the wall, as well as flatten it out. So I hope you guys learned something from this video today, and I hope you guys are staying safe during this time when things are kind of crazy. So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, that you guys learned something, and until next time, if you did like the video, by all means hit like, hit subscribe, and I will see you guys on the next one. Be blessed.